I need to tell you guys a little story. Several years ago, I was contacted by International Council of Shopping Centers Foundation about creating a scholarship program where we acknowledge real estate programs, undergraduate real estate programs across the United States. And they asked me to pick 25 different universities to work with. And then we would then provide a scholarship. And I thought that was going to be an easy thing to do until I found out there was really no stabilized, accurate ranking system for 25 for any schools and undergraduate programs. There's one that exists, but it's kind of flawed. And so we started trying to figure out what we need to do to rank these schools. So Brian Caroline, where's Brian? Where are you, Brian? Oh, way in the back, way in the back. Brian, who's a graduate of this program, working with us at my company. Brian, the brains of this, we came up with a system of our own to how to rank schools across the country. Now, let me point this out to you. The core requirement for a university to get the scholarship is that they have an undergraduate program in real estate. Now, you know, University of Florida does not have one, by the way. But I mean this with no biasness at all. The way we created our ranking system, the University of Florida, even without having an undergraduate program, finished in the top 5 and has finished top 5 every single year, which is cool. And it's a big deal with this scholarship because it gets global recognition, it gets the university known in more places, and it's a big deal. There are other universities, and I know University of Florida does too, they announce their rankings in their programs about where they are, so this is a big thing. But we didn't know if our pitch was going to work, so Brian and I finished the presentation, I flew up to New York, I met with the board, and I explained the whole ranking system, and I did point out University of Florida didn't have it, but we were. And the board voted unanimously, and there you go. But you know, as time went by, I keep getting worried about it because I've had this thought of I roll off this board in May, and what if I roll off the board in May and they replace me with like a heaven forbid University of Georgia grad, and then they point that out, and then somehow Florida gets messed up. So this has always been the back of my mind. So the ICSC came back to me and they said, hey, regarding these 25 schools, what we want to do is raise $25,000 for each school, and then we'll give you an additional $25,000, and that way the schools have $50,000 in an account that go directly to students that are looking to go into real estate undergraduate. And so I thought, well, this is really important. It's really important that we secure this for the University of Florida so that we don't, you know, it doesn't ever go away and we have that thing happening. So I was thinking about that and how to tackle that as a challenge to raise that $25,000. And so it occurred to me, I came up with an idea. And I thought, well, you know what if we named the scholarship the Maury L. Carter Scholarship after Mr. Maury Carter, who's sitting right here, and with his wife, who frankly deserves it more than him, frankly. We should just call it, you know. Anyway, that's another day, we'll talk about that. And Mr. Carter's in our Hall of Fame, and so I thought, well, that would make sense. So then I went and saw Daryl, and I said, Daryl, what if we name this in honor of your dad, who's in the Hall of Fame? And I said, I tell you what, Daryl, what if we took the $25,000 and you raise half and I raise half, and then we'll get this done? And I think Daryl was thinking maybe, you know, he was going to call 10, 20 people or whatever. I didn't think that. You know what I did? I emailed Kelly Bergstrom, like, just so you know, like, so I emailed Kelly Bergstrom and I said, Mr. Bergstrom, would you consider doing this? Minutes later, I had a check for half the money. So then I went back to Daryl and I said, Daryl, I'm done, which I got done in like 30 seconds, you know. And so Daryl then did, in the same format, he then contacted Jim Heaston, and Jim Heaston, boom, wrote the check, done. It's done. First university in the whole program to raise the money, University of Florida. So there you go. Okay. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. So there's two parts of the story, but the first thing I just want to officially do, because I just want to say this officially. As a board member of the International Council of Shopping Centers, I am pleased to announce that the Maury L. Carter and Associates Scholarship to benefit the University of Florida. Thank you and congratulations. So. Now, so this week we're getting ready to prepare for the conference, and I came to work, and Daryl and I share office space, so we're there together. And I get a note that I need to see his assistant immediately, and I thought I was in big trouble. And so I walked over there, and there I was handed a $10,000 check for the Maury Carter Scholarship Fund, and it was signed by Maury Carter. So, you know, I thought that was kind of cool that he wrote a check to his own. That's pretty cool, guys. He did that. So he wrote $10,000 check. And then a couple days later, Daryl comes up to my office and puts up against the window a second $10,000 check from an anonymous donor who was also close with Mr. Carter. And then we had a little more coming in. So, you know, we were supposed to raise $25,000. We raised $50,000 plus the 25. So now it's at $75,000. So that's pretty awesome. So I get way to go. Exciting, right? Now, I know that none of you here would consider yourselves to be competitive people, right? You guys don't care about rankings. Is that something that's a big deal to you? I don't know. So you might ask yourself, well, John, of those 25 schools, where does University of Florida now rank with all this wonderful money that's been given in? And the answer is it's right fourth, fifth, right there. And then you might wonder who's number one. The number one school that's raised the most money so far, it's going to surprise you, is the University of Central Florida. And I think that's adorable. I do. I think that's great. But guys, come on, Gator Nation, really? Do you really want to get beat by the Knights? I mean, charge on, really? So I just would ask you to think about maybe making a donation. It goes to the ICC Foundation, but 100% of the money goes to UF students, 100%. It's a big deal. So if you want to donate or if you have questions, let me know. Or you can let Daryl know, and we'll get you information how to donate so you can be a part of that. Oh, and I forgot this. You're not going to believe this. SMU, they got a guy there who gave 25 grand. He said he's committed to raise 50 because he wants to make sure that his total is well over $100,000. And I don't mean to bring this up, but you know, SMU has a history of cheating. I mean, Craig James, and you know what I'm saying? Anyway, don't let them beat the Gators. You guys got to raise the money and get to the top. So if you could do any more of that, that'd be fine. And then one final note, I just thought you might find this interesting. The University of Georgia so far has raised $400. So they apparently don't know how to play well in the secondary and raise money. Those are two challenges of them. Anyway, I'm done. Congratulations again, Mr. Carter, and thank you so much for your support. And Tim is now coming on.